This is On Your Story podcast. On this episode of the podcast series, we'll be talking about Ukelle Road. And I'm sure it's not news that you already know, for those of you within the cross-river state landscape and its environs, you know that I am from Ukelle Nation. So this is a topic that is very passionate to me as as an indigene of Ukelle. And of course, the road issue has been like an incessant issue that been like the predicament of the Ukelle people. From year in, year out, the Ukelle people are literally livid on the experiences they are going through on that road. I can tell you my own experience, but today we are not here to talk about me. There's someone who is very, very synonymous with that road. He knows the entire history of the road, and of course I have the privilege of today hosting a son of the soil, an illustrious son of Ukelle Nation, who is also in charge of the supervision of the Ukelle Road that is currently being constructed by Cosborn Nigeria Limited. Is in charge of the road construction, and of course Dr. Julius Okputu is the one that has been on top of that road construction from the inception, from the groundbreaking per se, sometime last year. So today we are talking about Ukelle Road on this podcast series. We've had a lot of conspiracy theories, we had a lot of narratives regarding that road. So I decided that, okay, let's come talk about this road. This road is not just some road out there that I'm not directly concerned about. I am so concerned about that road because I can't wait to see that road fully constructed. All right, so I want to officially welcome Dr. Julius Okputu. You're welcome to Hold Your Story podcast.
Thank you.
All right, so today we are going to go straight to the point. We've heard a whole lot about the Ukelle Road, but I want you to, first of all, give us the graphic details about the 5 kilometers. The groundbreaking was done a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you mobilized to site and all of that. What has been done with that road so far?
Very well. The beauty about this interview is that I'm dealing with someone I can call a witness, to even the progress of that road. Because I remember that we were on that road on the 28th of August when we had smooth access to Wanokom. And when the governor asked me specifically to supervise that project, he gave me very clear instructions that for the 5 kilometers, I must ensure that the 5 kilometers must be dealt with in a manner that will enable the Ukelle people to have access. 1 year ago, the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Peter Ode, PhD, Dr. Peter Ode, in company of the chairman of our party, Barrister Alphonsus Oga, and other major stakeholders across the state, flagged off the construction of that road by Coastbound Nigeria Limited. The governor had asked me to ensure that specifications are adhered to and that a proper road is constructed. The Ukelle Road is not an ordinary road. It's a virgin stretch from Yahe to Ebo, Okputu, Izekwe, Wanokom, Wanikade, and Wanihem, onto the Benue border. That is a 40-kilometer stretch, approximately. You have, the federal design has 39.6 kilometers, approximately, put it at 40 kilometers. And the beauty of the history of that road is that those who've been concerned about the road have done so much to ensure that it's constructed, properly constructed. But this is the first time that we are having a proper construction of that road. Now, against the background that the governor, Apostle Senator Basi Edetutu, has been very deliberate. The first thing he did actually was to hand over that road to the current Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. At a meeting with the minister, I was there, coincidentally. Fortunately too, I was at that meeting, the meeting the governor had with the current Minister of Works. In fact, the governor told the minister directly that he owes the Ukelle people one particular form of justice. He calls it infrastructural justice. That the Ukelle people have suffered years and years of neglect and deprivation, and that the road has been a stumbling block to their prosperity. That Senator Umahi should please ensure that that road is in the federal budget and that that road is constructed, because it's a federal road. That is the road that links Cross River State from Yahe to Oju, Oju to Oturpo, Oturpo to Weto Local Bridge. That bridge is a 2.5 kilometer bridge stretch across the River Benue. That is in Nasarawa State. From Oloko Oweto, you get to Kefi and you are in Abuja. So it's the shortest route to Abuja, from our axis.
Okay.
So the governor was deliberate that while we wait for the federal government intervention, that he is going to intervene directly, because within the first 3 months of his inauguration, he visited Ukelle. He got to Wanihim, he got to the boundary, between Cross River and Benue State, and gave a strong, concrete promise to the Ukelle people that that road shall be constructed. So he started with, they want to start with 5 kilometers, a award of 5 kilometers in the first instance. And there is a promise that the next phase, shall, commence in a couple of months. And the construction of the first phase, shall be completed in the next 2 months. In fact, by the end of November, the first phase, should be completed.
Okay, so
where we are,
where
we are now, giving this specific instruction, this was what we did. It would have been very easy to go start the road from Yahe, do 5 kilometers between Yahe and Nebo, which has an established, surface that you don't have to do much. There, not much of drainage. Now you go, do your scarifying, establish your surface, apply stone base and asphalt, and in 2-3 months, the 5 kilometers would have been constructed. But you see, because of the governor's insistence that the Ukelle road not being an ordinary road, that we should do something that will give the Ukelle people access, truly, we went to Apata. Apata, constructing Apata is like constructing 3 kilometers of that road. That is the truth. Apata is a 1 kilometer stretch, swamp stretch, between Ebo and Opodon. It's an impossible blockade. In fact, that stretch, that swampy stretch, ordinarily, in fact, that's the worst section of the road. It's like, those roads in the Niger Delta that you use a swamp buggy, to construct. But in this case, what we did was, we had to dig down. Mm-hmm. We dug down, removed all the unsuitable materials up to 3.5 to 4 meters stretch. We dug down, really dug down, and then removed all that, and we started building from there. A sandbed. We established a sandbed, up to 600 mm. If you are in engineering, you know that is almost more than 25 inches.
Wow.
So we started building from the sharp sand. We had a sharp sand, bed, then a lateral sand solution, and then we had a geomembrane, an impermeable geomembrane for Apata specifically, because we told ourselves that having done proper surveys. The only way you can give the North Ukelle people a road is to deal with Apata first, and that's what we did.
All right, so let's talk about the quality of work that has been done. Now, let's even establish where the 5 kilometers started and where he terminated, because there was some misconception from some people who don't even know the graphic details that the place that has been done now is where Jarigbe did. Where was the starting point of the 5 kilometers, and then where did it terminate, and where actually did Jarigbe Agom intervene?
That's a very good one. We've tried, to be mature about that past. We've tried to be very decent. Apostle Senator too is a very decent, governor who doesn't like controversies. So he's aware of the situation of that road. He's aware of the failure, of what, was done earlier. He's been properly briefed.
Okay.
Yes, the 2.3 kilometers after Apata, that is between Okputu and Ezekwe, we have something that was done to give the people a relief. That portion, that section has failed. And of course,
okay, so the thing has
evidence,
failed
that,
currently.
That section has failed.
So how many kilometers did he intervene in?
Now, how many kilometers?
Did Senator Jarigbe intervene?
2.3 kilometers.
Okay, 2.3.
Yes, between Okputu and Ezekwe.
And that was all he did on that road?
Yes, that was
all?
That was what he did. And,
wow.
and you should know that you cannot do a proper road. For the nature of the Ukelle soil, you can't do a proper road there without, a proper hydraulic design and properly executed too. Now, if you look at the road that is currently being done, look at the hydraulics, look at the quantitative aspects of the quantities concerning that road. It's about qualitative delivery. Qualitative delivery is not something you just go and rush and do. I mean, it's very easy now to go and do lateral, do a lateral stretch and then put stone base and then put asphalt. Asphalt that, asphalt has its thickness. So, you must do the right thing. So what we decided to do, looking at the nature of what was done earlier, was to ensure qualitative delivery, with all the specifications, and engineering solutions dealt with appropriately. So for the Ukelle road, you must dig down. I've told you now. We dug down in some sections 4 meters, some other sections 3.5 meters. And then we had to feel. Do you know what it means? That means, you'll be dealing with almost the height of that young man. So we had to feel from that depth, to achieve what we have achieved. And let me tell you, the first question we asked ourselves when we got to site with my engineering team is, what should be the lifespan of that road? And we told ourselves that we should build a road that will last more than 50 years.
Okay.
Yes. Now, because of the nature of our asphalt and the fact that, to get the proper quality of asphalt, there is something you must do. That's engineering. I might not get into the details here. But you see, because of the nature of the asphalt we get, when you build the kind of road we have built, all you do subsequently is when you have any level, of when you have suspicion that any level, maybe some parts of the road might, give way. You run, you do an overlay. Okay. You run through. So that road will last. The sub base, the substructure of that road has been done in a manner that will last for more than 100 years. Yes.
Are you categorically telling us that what has been done on that section of the 5 kilometers is something that will span up to 50 years?
Yes, it will stand. Now, where we are now, let me tell you where we are now. Having dealt with Apata, I've told you specifically that Apata is like constructing 3 kilometers.
Okay.
Yes, you know it. You've been there.
Yeah.
All the bridges and culverts
Yeah.
that were on that we had to remove and rebuild. The approach to Apata, there was a culvert there that had failed. We introduced a mini bridge. You can see it right there, the pictures are there. We introduced a mini bridge. And then now went and introduced 2 other mini bridges within the impossible section where you have that swamp and where water collects, so terribly. If you get there during the rains, you see the volume of water, but you have been there now, you were there. The volume of water on that particular stretch, what we did there was we introduced 2 mini bridges and some culverts, some box, we had to do in situ. We built our culverts there in situ, not box culverts, in situ. And then we now because it was the surveyors, we have one of the best surveyors on that road. We have one of the best surveyors in this state, Surveyor firm. We have one of the best surveyors in this state on that road. So the surveys were so properly done. And if you see the alignment of the road, it's a federal road. And the governor directed that we must abide by those specifications. Because what do you tell the federal government? That you are doing its road and you are not abiding by its specifications. So we have excess qualitative quantities on that road. So now on Apata alone, you can count the number of mini bridges and culverts that have been done. That is why you see, as you are approaching Apata, you see the stability, you see the alignment. And then you now move on to the stretch that has failed. Between Okputu and Ezekwe. We have to take care of that stretch. We have to deal
that's the question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
The 2.3 kilometers that was Senator Jerigbe intervened. Now that those sections have failed, what are you going to do about that?
The governor has already given a nod that we should take care of that section. He has. Because the section is a 2.3 kilometer stretch. So you cannot invite the governor to go and commission, the 5 kilometers, that has been put, that has been constructed between, or which construction, started, between Ebo and Okputu. You now invite the governor to commission Apata and then pass through the failed stretch and then go and commission Ezekwe, Okputu tree and Wanakom. You cannot do that.
It will be very difficult to explain.
Yes, you cannot explain it. How do you explain it? See,
that governor, this is where you did, and this is where the senator did.
Yes, you cannot explain it. So what we have the proposal is before His Excellency and the Ministry of Works. In fact, the team from the Ministry of Works visited, and the permanent secretary, specifically Mr. Beppe, told us, look, we cannot tell the governor to come and commission this road without taking care of the failed portion. And when His Excellency the Deputy Governor visited, we stopped at that spot. In fact, that was where Barrister Alphonsus Eba had to go and pick up, a piece of the of asphalt, on the caked asphalt on the failed portion, and took it into his car. But we in all that, you remember there's this thing, about dwelling on the qualitative, particularly for a people, who have suffered like our people have suffered. Long years, of not having, access, and very long years of not being able to connect properly, to modernism. After those long years, our people 3-4 years ago were excited to have that relief between Apata and Ezekwe, but it was a temporary relief. Now that it has failed, we have to take care of it. Now the current situation on that road is this: having taken care of Apata, we moved beyond the failed stretch to deal with Ezekwe and Okputu tree, Okpaka. Then Okpaka, Wanakom. So now, MC1 has been applied on the stretch on the stretch, the Ezekwe stretch to Okputu tree, and then we are taking our hydraulics, that is drains and other concrete works into Okpaka, and then Okpaka, Okpaka Manokoma,
So
and the earthworks.
What portion is left right now?
The portion is the stretch. Earthworks have been taken between Okpaka, to Wanokoma. That has been dealt with. The culverts have been done up to the end of the 5 kilometers. Earthworks, taking up to that, level, and then for the 3 kilometers that have been dealt with, MC1 has been applied. That is stone-based done. MC1 applied. We've prepared that stretch for asphalting. So the next stage is asphalting of the 2 kilometers, and then preparation of the remaining 2 kilometers for asphalt, which the program for completion is between now and the end of November.
All right, so if you're just joining us, this is On Your Story podcast. We've been talking about Ukelle Road, and I have the privilege of hosting Dr. Julius Okputu, who is a supervisor on that road. And of course, that road is being handled by Coastbound Nigeria Limited. And as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a great job. According to what Dr. Julius has told us here, they are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that they deliver on quality. All right, so, I am very interested in this road. And every Ukelle son and daughter should be. Because we've heard a lot of lamentations from when I was born till I grew up to this level. One thing that has challenged the Ukelle nation the most has been that road. And then at a point, I began to wonder, is this a spiritual problem? Because every single administration that comes, they will intervene, it will fail. Intervene, it will fail. I began to ask myself, could this be spiritually controlled? But I'm very happy to hear that at least what has been done now will last for at least 50 years before any other intervention will be done on that road. That is the first 5 kilometers that have been constructed. All right, so now let's talk more about what other details do you think the people need to know. But before you answer that question, these 2.3 kilometers that you are going to take over and construct, because from how I'm seeing it, Ukelle Road has been politicized. They are bringing politics. If anybody wants to make Ukelle people happy, they want to go and do something on the road, even if it's just to stand there and snap picture. Now that they are taking over the 2.3 kilometers, is Senator Jerry Ikpe aware that the one he has done has failed?
Well, we have tried very maturely to avoid the politics of it, because that is the governor's instruction. Let us go and do a proper thing for our people. And it shouldn't be about the press. And it shouldn't be about, you see, when you are doing God's work, you must do it.
Very spiritual.
Yes, you must do it. You must do it with a lot of humility.
I see that.
Because the greatest lesson, of man's humility, Christ came as God and as man. The greatest humility, that has been demonstrated, in the life of man, is the exercise of the washing of feet. Christ had to bend down to wash the feet of his disciples. And it is, that this is taken very seriously, in Catholicism. And there is something. So you see, when it is very sobering and humbling to be given that kind of assignment. And let me tell you, if you are not sent by God, you can't do that project. So and if this period, if this season is not a blessed season, where an administration has decided to commit itself to the work of God, if the season is not a godly season, you cannot go there and do anything. It was like building Okputu.
So right now, it doesn't matter who takes the glory. It's just doing the right thing that leads us to the next level.
Let me tell you, if you go and politicize that process, you have to be careful so that you don't offend God. The governor, of course, you can count the number of interviews he has granted since he became governor. He doesn't talk much about these matters. And, I also have an agreement with him that we should walk quietly, we should walk silently, but that let the results speak. Let the results show. Because what is the point? If we wanted to do something for the media, let me tell you, we would have gone to the approach, the Yaya approach, stable. In fact, the Yaya approach has drains, stable surface. We would have just simply gone there. The amount of earthworks, you don't have to dig. Between Yaya and Ebo, you don't have to dig. But you know that you are a witness. Right? You don't have to dig. The other day, we were in Wanokom on the 28th of August. You were in company of the deputy governor and the chairman of party, by Sir Francis Eba, Oga Eba, and other stakeholders from the north and the state. You drove smoothly to Wanokom and came out. You drove through the Capitol Hill. The Capitol Hill before now was impossible.
Of course.
Impossible.
Of course.
And you see that culverts have been built up to the former Ukelle whole government secretariat. And then earthworks taken, to that level. All we have done, in fact, let me tell you, what is left, particularly given the quality of what has been done, what is left to be done there will take us, 3 months. In fact, between now and the end of November, we should be done. Because the stretch from Okpaka to Wanokom, about 2 kilometers. Earthworks have been done appreciably. So now the hydraulics there, we have looked at the terrain. What do we do on the hills? You have hills on that stretch. Sure. There are no hills on the stretch that has been constructed, up to stone base and MC1 level and asphalt at Apata. Now, the stretch to Wanokom, we are looking at the hydraulics, closely. Between teacher Ogailum's, late Chief Ogailum's house to teacher Odu. I'm giving you, you are from there, that's why I can give you the specifics. Now, between Chief Ogailum and the late teacher Odu, there was an ancient rock. Don't forget there was an ancient rock that was a complete impediment to the construction of that road. Sure. And no other government. Don't forget that His Excellency, the former governor, Mr. Donald Duke, did some intervention on that road. Corn aid, applied corn aid and all that. And I was involved. But we couldn't remove that stone. Don't forget that, he was the one who did Okolo. Yeah. I also supervised Okolo. And like I have told you, if you are not sent by God, you can't even do.
How were you able to take out the rock now? What did you do differently?
Let me tell you, the mysteries of the quantities involved on that road are not humanly calculable.
So can we not say the construction of Ukelle Road is not a spiritual process?
It is. If God is not with you, you can't do it. See, I'm saying it on camera, and if God is not with you, you cannot do it. Okay, now tell me, how do you construct Apata ordinarily?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Yes. What actually did you experience on that road that makes you say it's a spiritual process?
Okay, now.
What are the challenges that challenge you the most?
I would have left you to go and try to remove the late Ogailum's Okpaka rock. I would have left you to go and do it ordinarily. I would have left you to go there.
But I've asked you what you did differently.
Now, spiritual.
Were there sacrifices done?
Spiritual matters.
Or you brought pastors to come and pray?
Okay, let me openly tell you.
Were there incantations?
Let me tell you very openly. There is a grace that you are given to go and do certain things. Before you go and do those things, ask for the company of that grace. That was what followed us.
Okay.
We asked for the company of that grace.
Okay.
Nothing, no sacrifice, nothing. It was purely God. But, when you go to that road, look at the alignment. Look at how that road is constructed. Look at the Izekwe Okodon tree section. From close to the market. Look at the construction there. Look at, what has been done, around Apata. You will definitely know that is not an ordinary construction. And I tell you, in terms of the qualitative aspects, you can't put a human finger.
Okay.
You can't put a human finger on what has been done there. It's true. If you have been involved, even the workforce, the amount of work that has been done within 5 kilometers.
Okay,
You can stretch it up to 10.
From Flag up to where you are now, how many months did it take you?
Yeah, 9-10 months.
9-10 months. And then you are giving us,
because
you are saying categorically that in the next 2 months you should complete the 5 kilometers.
By the end of November, because you see, we hold the secret to that construction. See, it was strategically done. What we did was go to the worst section of the 40-kilometer road stretch. The worst section of that road is between Apata and Wanokom. But you know it now, you are a witness, you know it. I don't know whether, you know, is it contestable? Because you have to contest it.
No, of course.
The worst section of that road.
Every Ukelle son and daughter knows what actually plays out on that road.
The worst section of that road is between Apata and Wanokom. And that is what we have dealt with. Now, don't forget that when we started, we had to do palliatives just to enable us to have access.
Okay.
Remember that you were involved in last year's New Yam Festival.
Sure.
And you came in and begged
and
that in order not for the festival to be taken out of Wanokom, that I should go and walk.
Yes.
I went. You know what I did?
No, but
you were with me.
Are you going to sabotage the New Yam Festival? Or you are going to walk?
You spoke almost rudely to your uncle. You know, I would say it. You spoke almost, and we went. Yes.
That motivated you to get the job done.
Yeah, we got the road done.
Yeah.
You know, we got the road done. Senator Jarigbe, others who came, you know, persons who came from us, drove smoothly last year.
Yeah.
And then now we got onto the proper construction. And the governor's instruction was, don't be in a hurry. Give your people
the best,
a proper road. They have suffered infrastructural justice for too long. That was his instruction. And the instruction of the Commissioner for Works. The Commissioner for Works supervises that road directly. And then go and look at the stretch that we have not asphalted. Look at that stretch. You have a road already. You have a road already. So now, when we now, you know, introduce and apply stone base on that stretch, do our hydraulics, take our hydraulics to the end, and then asphalt. We've told the company that is supplying us asphalt, if you cannot give us the best asphalt in this country, then don't get involved. Yes, we have.
So can you categorically say that road is well funded?
Yes, to be fair to the governor.
The funding is...
To be fair to the governor, he has not refused us anything. But let me tell you what we have done. We had to, because friendship is involved here, and because brotherhood is involved here, I want to take this personal responsibility. There were certain things we did in excess of the ministry's brief, and I'll tell you this. You know, being a federal road, you know, the initial design was that the width of the road should be 7.3 meters. You know, the 7.3 meters. You know, if you are, you should be involved in engineering now. You know, to the drains. But we had to increase the width of the road from 7.3 meters to 10.3 meters to ensure that.
So why was that not taken into consideration from the initial design? Fine.
Now, the initial design of that road came from the Ministry of Niger Delta.
Okay.
Now, that design, incidentally and coincidentally, that design was also influenced by His Excellency, the governor. In fact, he was the one who appealed to the minister of the Niger Delta Affairs at the time, you know, to ensure that the North Ukelle Road was designed for construction. You know, when he did that, I am sure, you know, at that time, fine in the realm of the spirit, you know, something was going to happen. But as men, you know, we didn't know that this day will come. Now he's presiding also on the implementation of that design of the North Ukelle Road. He influenced the design. Okay. You know, by the federal government.
Okay.
You know, the design
So
of the
now
Ukelle road by the federal government. So now that
increment.
that design is available to the Ministry of Works, to the State Ministry of Works. That design is available to Coast Bank. You know, so now we have that design. So what we have done is to ensure that, because you see, looking at a federal road, you know, the specifications are naturally meant to be the way they are. Don't forget that that road, you know, is a road you must construct with the axial load, you know, of the trucks you see there in mind.
Yeah.
You know, you must do your transport studies first. How many trucks? But the Dangote trucks have started moving.
Yeah.
And you see, what is on, let me tell you, what is on a pattern now is the binder course. We are supposed to have a wearing course on it to satisfy those specifications, you know, that are supposed to give us a federal road. So that is the mix, you know, that is being dealt with. You know, now,
so the increment you have done now,
yes.
Is it going to be sustained? Would that correction be effected in the federal ministry?
Now this is it. This is the situation.
Yeah.
You see, if you want to eat a toad, go and eat the juiciest of them all.
Okay.
And you know, from my background, you know, fine. You see, you must be futuristic in certain things.
Okay.
Tomorrow, see, the governor handed over that road. I gave you this background.
Sure.
Handed over that road to Senator Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works, the current Minister of Works, and say, go and do a road for my people. Yes, the governor calls the Ukelle people my people. And you see, Beatrice, you are from there, you have to know this. That is why that education, it's important to have that education. I'm giving you this background. The governor handed over the road to Senator Dave Umahi, and with a specific plea, please, let us do a proper road for my people. They have suffered too much. Now, against, you know, that background, I was sent to go and supervise the project. Now, I mean, so, you know, at the back of my mind, I remember that meeting. I remember that encounter. And if I have to supervise a project properly, and conscious of the fact that the Yahe Wanikade, Yahe Wanokom Wanikade, Wanihem, Benue border road into Oju, links us up to Abuja, wouldn't I naturally be ambitious and expectant that whatever I do in the name of friendship and brotherhood, that God will supply Cross River State the money, you know, to pay for it? This I have told you, that if God has not sent you, and if God does not send you, don't go there. So I am there. I'm there as a child of God.
You are sent by.
I am completely.
How are you sure?
Yes.
At what point did you know that you were sent by God to do that route?
Of course, I've always had the experiences.
Okay, so
when I was sent to do Okolo, didn't you know I was sent by God? So could you who know the mysteries around Okolo, can you construct Okolo and come out ordinarily?